Hello friends, my name is Shivam from DevOps Schools and I will help you to enable your learning process in various technologies of DevOps, artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data and many more. This is our initiative to help you by sharing multiple tutorials and videos. And if you want any specific tutorials on any particular topic, then please do comment in the below comment section and I will help you with it. Also, please subscribe to our premium services on YouTube, which will give you access to more content and videos to enhance your knowledge about all these topics. Also, if you want me to help you with regards to the online trainings and classroom sessions by our qualified trainers, then please do write me at contact@devopschool.com.
Our CentOS machine, right? So I will create a YAML file here. Now let's see how the syntax goes, right? So I'll just start with play. So you can see, you remember, right? The YAML is a collection of plays. So let's start with first play here. Let's call it as name of the play. And the name that I want to give is create or manage user foo on all the hosts. This is a free text. Okay, this text is used for our reference. It's not a keyword. It will not be used by Ansible. Then hosts, on which hosts this configuration or these tasks which are in the play should be run, and I'll say run on all hosts, right? And then we define the tasks. Okay, my first task is create a user, right? Create user foo. This is the name of the task. Name of the task is create user foo. Now for this, I'm going to use a package or module. Module is user, right? And then to user, I'll specify some attributes. Name of the user is foo and state is present. So I'm creating a task here. This is the task, which is create user foo and ensure or use the module foo or use the module user to create a user. The name of the user should be foo and state should be present. Okay, now this is my complete play, one play. Now let's write another play here. Now in this play, I want to install or I want to install a package called NTP on my CentOS machine, right? Install package NTP on CentOS machine. This is another play that I'm writing. Now this host should be host underscore CentOS only, right? Because this play will be applied only on host CentOS. What are the tasks here? Well, there is only one task, install NTP, install NTP, and I'll use a module called yum. Name of the package is NTP and state is present. Okay, and I have now two plays. First play installs or create user foo on all the machines, all the hosts. Second play installs NTP server on CentOS hosts. I'll save it now and I'll say Ansible Playbook. This is the command. Ansible Playbook. Run my Ansible playbook called firstplaybook.yaml. Press enter. There is an error. Line 8, column 1. Okay, let's see. I'm not sure what could be the error here. Looks fine to me. All right, this is strange. Let's check this on a YAML linter. So, there are some utilities which can check our YAML structure. Okay, so there's something called as code beautify or YAML lint, which can check the structure of our YAML here. And it says YAML is valid. So now I don't know why it complains.
There is some slash dots in the 11th line.
These hyphens,
Yeah, I
these
think that
are,
syntax was showing
yeah,
in that only.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So these are to show that, there are multiple entries here. This is just to show that. So there is one play here and one play here. And this says that my YAML is valid, right? So should not be a problem. And this also says my YAML is valid. Why on earth would it complain about it? Yeah. Okay, let's see if we delete this. Host is not a valid attribute. Okay, yes, host is not a valid attribute. Correct, hosts. All right, yeah, so it works. Well, it was not able to identify to distinguish the 3 dashes. So that was the problem, but it shouldn't have been. But no problem here. Okay, so I ran my playbook and there were 2 plays here, right? See the first play here, manage user foo on all the hosts. Second play is install package NTP on CentOS machine.
Hey viewers, our Master in DevOps engineering program can help you to hone the skills necessary to succeed in high-level DevOps positions. So, what are you waiting for? Enroll now and earn certification that show you are keeping pace with today's technical roles and requirements. Contact info is mentioned in the video sidebars and in the description box. Book your seats for the upcoming batches now.
First play, well, when you run a play, doesn't matter how many tasks you define. So here we have one task here. There is a default task that is executed, which is gathering information about the systems, right? So here it is gathering information about the host CentOS and Ubuntu system because we are running this play on all the machines. So it gathers some information. I will show you later what these informations mean. And then you have the task here, which is create user foo. And you see that it changed, or this task status is that it changed something on host CentOS and host Ubuntu. So if we quickly connect to our machines here, if I say ID foo, that means foo user is created. On both the machines, foo user is created, right? And then install NTP, that was part of another play here. On host CentOS, install NTP was executed, and that would have installed the NTP application on our CentOS machine, right? Now this playbook is a state file. This defines what you want in your infrastructure. Right? You want users to be present, you want applications to be installed. You don't essentially specify how to create this user. Ansible just knows, right? And this is the basic syntax of writing your YAML file or writing your playbook. Okay, any questions on this basic structure? We will see more things here. But for now, any questions on this basic structure?
Yeah, I have a quick question. Is that like when you're setting up the structure, like from task to dash name, and then from user to name, were you using 2 spaces?
No. So I mean, this is the property of Vim editor. Yeah, it by default uses 8 characters for the next indentation.
Okay,
Right.
okay,
So
yeah, but yeah. So how many indentations did you put? Like 2 or? Like when you did the indentation from the Yum module to the name and state. Do you do 2 indentations?
So, well, as soon as I press enter, Vim editor adds indentation on its own, and that's set as the default value of 8 spaces.
8 spaces. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So,
But
but it's
this is, yeah.
go ahead. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, please.
No. What you brought up is that because usually with Ansible playbooks, you got to be careful about you get syntax errors because of the indentations or like even where you had from tax colon dash name. So here Vim is putting like 8 spaces with each indentation.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. We'll just leave it at that. Okay.
Yeah, you can modify it, right? So you can say, although by default it gives 8 indentation, but you can always delete them and make it as you prefer. But yeah, Vim, just to keep it consistent, it gives 8 spaces, which is too
Okay.
much, but syntactically it's fine. It may not look very good, but syntactically it's fine. Okay, so yeah, this is how you write your playbooks. Okay, now let's use another module, which is a copy module. Right, the module is called copy, and what it essentially does is it allows you to create new files on your host. Right now, I'm talking about these modules, but how do I know what modules exist and how do I use those modules? Where is the documentation of these modules? Well, if you go to Ansible and just search for modules here, the first link will be for Ansible modules, and it lists all the modules available for you. Right, so you have some modules like ACI, which is mostly for, I don't know, some ACI devices, whatever. Then you have modules for apt. There is a module called apt, right? There's a module called APK. So Alpine operating system uses APK. So you have APK here. Then you have your other modules like, there are modules to manage some sort of AWS resources, right? So there are modules available for many use cases and all are listed here. Right now, this is a big list or a definitive list of all the modules, but you may want to look for modules based on their use cases. So on the left hand side, there is a segregation of modules based on use cases. So you have cloud modules, you have database modules, files modules, utilities modules, system modules, right? Many other modules here. So if I go to system modules, I will see somewhere user, right? This is a module which I used. And this module was used to manage our foo user, right? So let's go ahead and look at this user module and see how it can be used. So you can see here, user module has these parameters, right? I specified when I use the user module, I specified 2 parameters, name and state. There are many other parameters that you can specify to define the complete behavior of what this module does and what it changes on the target systems. Okay, so there is append, there is authorization, comment. If you want to add a comment to the user which is created, create a home directory for a user. If you want to set an expiration date for the user, if you want to generate SSH key for the user, group that you want to associate to home directory, and name, right? So name is a mandatory uh, attribute. So you have to specify this name attribute here. So that's why it is required. And then I also specified state, right? So there is also something called a state. Now state also has to be specified, but if you don't specify a state, either absent or present, if you don't specify it, the default is present. So in my playbook definition, if
Hey viewers, trying to get into DevSecOps? Enroll for our DevSecOps certified professional programs and earn the certification that shows you are fit for these technical roles and requirements. Contact info is mentioned in the video sidebars and in the description box. Book your seats for the upcoming batches now.
I delete this state declaration here, this module will take that as a present state. That means the user module will understand that I want to ensure that the full user is present, right? So there are some default values for certain parameters. So state has present, system has no, update password is always. These are the parameters, right? Remove is by default is no. Yeah. So this is how you can see the documentation, and then some examples below how you can use the module users. So these are the task examples, as you can see. So name of the task is something, and then you can use user module to create a user John with a specific user ID 1040, and the comment that the user is John Doe and it is associated with group admin. If you want to remove a user, you can say name John and state absent. Yeah, so you can use the user module like this. Similarly, if we go back and see the app module, now this will be utilities module, I guess. No, not here. Then maybe system module we already saw. Packaging modules. In packaging, you would see apt, right? If I go to app module, you will be able to see that there are many parameters, right? Then there is a parameter called name, where you have to specify which packages to install, right? Instead of name, you can also specify package or pkg, which are aliases to these parameters. So you can specify them. Then state, you can specify that the package has to be present, or you can also specify a version. You can also say latest. You can also say absent if the package has to be deleted, right? There is also a parameter called update cache. Okay, so now if I want to delete this package, I can just say state is absent, right? And then this playbook will remove NTP package from host CentOS, right? So this is how you can use various modules.
In
Now,
state,
mhm.
is like with present and absent. You used them most. I mean,
So generally, instead of saying present, so generally in the production environments, you specify the version of the package that you want to install. So maybe you can say NTP version 0.19 or something like this. And then it is implicit that the state has to be present and a specific version of the application has to be installed. So this is how it is generally done.
absent. If you found in a production environment you have 0.19, but you want to put in a new version, you'd put it like absent in order to remove NTP even in a production environment.
If you have to remove, then you would say absent. Yep. But if you say, let's say the current state of the NTP package is 0.19 and you would like to upgrade it to 0.21, for example, then you can say state upgrade, state 0.21, and also upgrade is yes.
You'd put
Yep.
you just have to put 0.21 and it'll automatically use the upgrade module.
Yep, that's the default.
Okay.
No. It's not, the default is no. So it will not upgrade the module. It will just say that, okay, NTP is present and leave it there. You have to specify that, upgrade is equal to yes, then it will upgrade to the specified version.
okay, so would you put upgrade equal to yes when you'd replace to 0.19?
So if let's say, so let's take it at this way, right? Let's take it look at this way. You want to install NTP package, and you say I would like to have 0.2 version installed on my system, right? If you specify like this, and Ansible runs this command and says, okay, and NTP has to be installed a certain version, but when this task runs, it finds out an NTP version installed already. Doesn't matter which version, this task will not be executed. So Ansible will say, okay, I already found that NTP is installed, right? So now if you want to force, I think that was a mistake. So if I want to ensure that the NTP version 0.21 has to be installed mandatorily and no other version, then I would say upgrade. If Ansible you find an existing installation, please upgrade it to 0.21. Don't just leave it at that.
Okay, okay, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so this is how you can manage your packages, right? Now let's take a look at another module, which is copy. Let's go to files module and let's take a look at copy, right? So the copy module copies a file from local or remote machine. So local means Ansible server or a remote machine to a location on the remote machine. So you can copy a file from somewhere, either from local source or from any other remote source, to some location on your target host. Okay, and then to use this, well, there is a destination attribute which is mandatory, and you have to specify where should the new file that is being created should sit, right? And there are various things that you can specify. For example, there's something called a source. If you want to copy a certain file, define the source, right? If you want to,
Hey viewers, are you looking for formal training on SRE practices? Take our SRE program. This course will teach you how to successfully implement site reliability engineering in the modern day 24/7 services. Kickstart your SRE training today. Contact info is mentioned in the video sidebars and in the description box. Book your seats for the upcoming batches now.
for example, set the owner of this new file. You can specify that as well. Who will be the owner for this file, right? You can also define content. So if this new file which you are going to create on the remote machine should have a custom content, then you can define that as well. All right. And here are some examples here. If you see down, there are some examples here, right? So let's use this module to manage some files here. So I'm going to now delete one of the plays, or I can just leave it at that, or maybe I'll just delete, right? And I say that I want to add another task here, and that task's name is create file in a remote machine, or create file in all remotes, right? Because this task is going to run on all the hosts, so I will create file in all remotes. Okay, now which module I'll use? I'll use module called copy. I'll use copy module. I'll say source. There is no source. So first thing is, let me specify the mandatory parameter, which is destination. And I say destination is /tmp/myfile, right? /tmp/myfile. So in my remote, all the remotes, a new file should be created, which is /tmp/myfile. And the content of those files should be hello DevOps school. This should be the content of the file /tmp/myfile. And this is a new task which is going to create this new file on my all remote machines. Let's save it. And then I'll say Ansible playbook first playbook. Now you see, first task did not make any change. It's an idempotent task, no changes made. And the second task makes the changes here, right? And I can verify that the changes were made if I just say list files in /tmp, you see my file is created. And if I say /tmp/myfile, well, it prints hello DevOpsSchool. And the same file will also be created here, right? Hello DevOpsSchool. So this is how you can manage files. Now let's take another example. And let's say I have to manage 4 files like this. 4 files. So I say my file 1. So I'm creating 4 files here, right? My file 1, 2, 3, 4, and all of them have same content, right? Now, wouldn't it be nice that I don't have to write the same content again and again? It'll be easy to manage. If my boss tomorrow says, hey, Amit, I don't like this text in all our files, change it to something else, then I don't want to change it at all these 4 places, right? Maybe a single place where I can hold this text and then use that and refer to that in my content here. Well, you can create variables in playbooks. I say wars, so variables, right? I define a variable called my content, for example, and the content would be, let's say this is my content, right? So I create a variable and store the value in this variable. And then instead of defining the content like this, I can say content is equal to my content. So I am now referring to this variable here, and the content from this file or this variable is going to be used here. And when my file will be created, it will use this content here. Right? Really nice. Now, whenever I have to change the content, I can just change that single place and it will be reflecting in all the files here. I'll save it and let's run this playbook. And it creates all the files on my remote machines. And if I check, if I say cat /tmp my file star, it will print all the files, all the values here. Hello DevOpsSchool, hello DevOpsSchool, hello DevOpsSchool, right? If I say cat my file 4, it got the content hello DevOpsSchool. Now my boss says, hey Amit, yeah, I don't like this text, right? Let's change it to hello everyone. So I can just change at single place. And apply the playbook again. And that would then reflect in all the files. Okay, so variables can be used in playbooks. Now, so this variable is a custom variable. I defined this. Now there are some internal variables created by Ansible. Right? What are those variables? Well, just give me 1 second. I'm just pulling out my notes. Now I can define variables like this. So this is a pretty static standard variable. I can also say my content and then say content1 is hello everyone, and content2 is hello there, you are the special one, right? For example. Now this is a kind of a dictionary here, right? So you have the main container, which is my content, and then content1, content2, and then you can use these variables like this. So you can say my content dot content1, right? So I want to have my content dot content1 in file 1, 2, and 3.
Thanks for watching. Want to study further? Join our training programs today.